Welcome back to Total Saw Solutions. I'm Don Angelo.
And my name is Ron Angelo.
Today we are going to make a demonstration using a zero clearance. How do you get that zero clearance plate mounted properly in the table saw?
This is typical of what is in this series that we're using. And as we look with the zero clearance, there's a slot already made into here. But it's a little different when it comes to our Micro-Kerf40. And as we look, the Micro-Kerf40 is going to be cutting right along the edge of that slot because we had extra support collars to bring the blade out. And so that'll create a problem. So you'll have to do some machining, routing out the inside of your plate, like so. I routed all this out in here. You actually want to go a little farther so that tip would go all the way through. You want to go just so there's maybe 1/8 inch left of material left on your zero clearance.
Now what we do is, remember, safety, so we're going to have the machine unplugged before we start handling everything. One thing that Ron brought out is as we need to first find out where that saw blade is going to go. We drop the saw blade all the way down in the table right now, but it does, being a 10-inch blade, we like to hold right on the tolerance of the diameters, and the main other part of the industry likes to go smaller. Well, since ours is holding on there, when you put this zero clearance plate in here, we're going to find that it won't fall all the way down. So you want to get that zero clearance plate in there, and as that falls in there, the saw blade is actually going to, you can let it rub and make a little groove there so you know about where the center is. Like on here, for instance, this here, we scratch this area and we actually had the machine out the back side here. So really, we had to bring this out a little bit further here, and we want to take a good length of that whole area there that we're going to route out. Because that saw blade, once we get that cut out a little bit, then you can put that back in there. You can raise the saw blade all the way up to its full length. And
by doing this, okay, go on. As you look closely with our blade coming through, we bring it all the way up, if I can get it into the slot. And there's support collars. If those support collars start to rub, it's going to make the blade overheat. So you have to route out enough so you can get a little deeper in there.
So you can look in there, you can see that there's clearance top, bottom, and when that goes all the way through, when you're starting the cut and everything, you never want to be rubbing on this, leave these collars rub on inside here a little bit, otherwise you're ruining the saw blade. This is what is our heat sink. It pulls the heat out of the top of the blade, so we can't create heat on this edge, on this smaller edge here. So that's what's very important, but we want to maintain clearance all the way. And so Ron already cleared out a lot of this portion out of here so that there's not as much heat for this to rub on as it goes through. All we're looking for this to do is get rid of the problem of that big hole, because if you want to cut thin strips, these thin strips are going to drop down into the pockets, and it's going to give you wedging and different things. It can burn things up. This is going to give you a chip-free cut. When you have that all put in there properly, you're going to be very, very satisfied with your cuts.
Especially when you're cutting real small little pieces cutting through. The other thing that we have is back of the blade, we have one of these.
It's a splitter guard. We have that available. It's on our website.
For anti-kick, if you want to be more safe, you use one of these behind there, and you line everything up. You machine it through there. And
there's proper directions in here how to set your rip fence up there, and then once you've got that set, you're going to use your rip fence as a line, so you can just make a little groove in the end where this thing would slide in and screw up to the bottom. There's a drill bit involved and a screw. So is there anything else that we need to tell them?
Oh, I just say be safe and have fun.
See you later.